Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're okay. We have another video here for functional skills English, excuse me, level 1 and also entry level. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at improving sentences. So sentences are something that we use in everyday life all the time, and you'll certainly use it in English and in maths and in your vocational subject. So whether you're doing entry level or FS1, or even GCSE for that matter, you all want to work on improving your sentences. So what we're going to look at today is the basics of sentences, which are subject, verb, and object. How do I improve my sentences? This is a question that lots of students ask themselves all the time. And they kind of think that there's like a magic formula, like I'm going to tell you. There isn't really. It takes 3 different things. You have to understand what your sentence is doing. You have to read or listen to audios, and you have to experiment. You have to experiment with getting your sentences wrong and then kind of improving them. So it's kind of like an artistic process in a way. And if you keep practicing and you get better at your vocabulary and you understand a little bit more what your sentences are doing, that will make sure that you move in the right direction. So, as I say, there is no one way to improve your writing. The best way is to use a blend of methods. The things that make good sentences are reading, writing about different things in different ways, and rewriting and experimenting with your written voice. Now, your writing voice is something that, I would introduce to you in class. We have a writing voice and a speaking voice. There was some famous writer, I forget who it is, excuse me, that said all writing is rewriting. And it is true. No writer sits down and writes it out perfectly, whether you're writing a report or anything else. So rewriting is really important, and it's the key to making your sentences better. Okay, so all sentences have a basic structure. Now, you might think, well, I kind of know that, Miss Collins, and it's like, yes, but I want you to start thinking about your sentences in terms of their basic structure. And the reason that I want you to start doing that is that I want you to start doing that to understand what your sentence is doing so that you can make it better, okay? Because if you understand the basics of your sentence, you can then add other things to it, other information, other descriptive language, other examples, to make it more interesting and clearer and more elevated. So the basic structure of a sentence is a subject, a verb, and an object. The subject is whom or what the sentence is about. The verb is the word doing the work, the action, etc. The object is the thing related to the subject. Now, just before I explain this bottom bit, so there are 2 ways of approaching English. There is a technical way and there's an intuitive way. Now, many students, including foreign language students, I've worked with foreign language students, can get a little bit worried about, do I know what the verb is? Do I know what the object is? What I want you to do with this is observe the scientific method of subject-verb-object, but I want you to intuitively just think, okay, I think I know what that's about. I think that might be the verb, and I think that might be an object. That in itself is enough to make you understand what your sentences are doing, just in case you're panicking, okay? And that's normal as well. So, and if you're confident in it, that's fine. Usually the subject will be the person or thing carrying out the action, and the object will be the thing involved. So let's look at this example. I always use animals. I feel it's the best way. The cat sat on the mat. So the cat is the subject. Sat is the verb, and the mat is the object, right? Very simple sentence. Just going through it, explaining it a little bit. The cat sat on the mat. So we know that the cat is the thing, main thing in the sentence. And the mat is the object that the cat is sitting on. So the cat is doing the sitting and the mat is being sat on. So it isn't doing the action. The mat's not doing anything. It's just being sat on. So the verb sat is the action. So this is a simple sentence, okay? We'll get into simple, complex, and compound later. But if we just look at this sentence, we know that sat is the verb, cat is the subject, and mat is the object, yeah? So when you look at sentences now, I want you to think about subject, verb, object. And that will do two things. It will help you kind of just look at your sentence and think, what am I trying to say? So what is the subject that I'm trying to show about the object, yeah? And this might help you then think about, how do I expand it and how do I make it clearer, okay? So this is another sentence. This is taken from an exercise that you're going to do, okay? So let's look at this sentence and locate the subject, verb, and object. Now, when I made this lesson, I thought, do I give you a couple of simple examples? And I thought, no, let's not do that. Let's have a bit of a challenge, okay? Let's throw you right in there so that you can feel a bit worried about it, but then go, do you know what? I think I've got it. Good, right. Having the right bike makes every trip easier, safer, and more fun. And the good news is your bike needn't cost a fortune. Well, anybody will look at that, including myself, and think, oh gosh, where is the subject, where is the verb, and where is the object? Now, there is more than one verb in here, but we're going to deal with the verb that's doing the work. So the subject is the bike, the right bike. The verb here doing the work is makes. And the object is that it needn't cost a fortune. So the cost is the point being made about the bike. Makes is the verb, it's the main verb, and the bike is the subject. So as you can see, just going back just for a second, in this simple sentence, it's easy to see the subject and the verb object, and that sentence is very clear. So if you've written a sentence like this one that's a bit longer, right, which you will have to do, you have to write longer sentences, you have to say more than one thing, right? So if you've got a sentence and you're trying to make it clearer, or you don't quite know what you're trying to say, if you just get it down and then you can see, well, that's the subject, that's the verb, and that's the object, it makes these other bits in between seem a little bit clearer to you and to see what they're doing. So we know that the bike is the subject, makes is the verb, and the cost is the point. Good, excellent. Ready for an exercise? Good. So this is a text, and you're going to read the text and locate subject, verb, and object. So the point of this is not like maths where you add 2 and 2 and get 4. The point is to feel a bit fearful of it. Yeah, anybody would. I would. Most English teachers would. Any teacher would. So what I mean is that you're in the same boat as everybody else. We'd all have to think about where the subject, verb, and object are. So the point of this is to become comfortable with what the sentence is doing. And even if you get it wrong, don't worry about it. Keep going. It's that you're engaging with what the sentence is doing. You're going to be able to find at least one of the 3 things. And even if you find the verb, then you'll find either the object or the subject. If you find the subject, then you're likely to find the object. Do you see what I mean? So you're starting to locate those 3 things in the sentence. That takes you slightly closer to your sentences and what they're doing. And that can only be helpful for you. So don't panic, experiment, and think about what is the subject and the object. If you find the subject and the object, you'll find the verb. Right, okay, so what I want you to do is go through the text. You don't have to go through all of it. You could go through 1 to 2 paragraphs. 1 paragraph if you want. You can read all of it and go through subject, verb, object should you want to. This text is going to be on a separate slide view. I've just put it here for now so you can see it. And you're going to read the text and locate subject, verb, and object. And then you're going to apply some of this by doing a comprehension. So the reason I've chosen a comprehension for you is quite simply, it will help you with your functional skills exam. So it's asking you to read a text and it's asking you to interpret that text. So these questions will just get you to think about what information is being presented in this text and how to write it clearly. And I want you to think about, your focus should be to try to make your sentences clear. Make sure they make sense. Very important in all English situations, particularly in exams. Think about your subject, verb, and object in your answer. So the two things that I feel that I would like you to take from this lesson today is that you understand something about your sentences, and that they have these three things, a subject, verb, and an object, and that you can find at least 1, 2, or 3 of those things. And that when you do a comprehension, that you start to think about making your sentences clear. And if you don't, have a look at your subject, verb, or object and find the one thing, and that will make the other things much clearer. Okay, I hope that you are doing well. Well done for keeping up with your work. You are working, you are doing well, we're all adjusting, and I will look forward to seeing you in maths if you're there. If not, I will see you next week. Take care, bye.